The absolute Batman takes literally every single thing you know about Batman and completely, utterly flips it upside down, backwards, and reverses it. Batman? You know the Caped Crusader? Billionaire CEO, Wayne Enterprises? Tragically lost his parents? Yeah, not this guy. This Bruce Wayne still has a parent, lives on Crime Alley, has a fucking bat symbol that is a battle axe. So, let's talk about it. This world of Batman opens up showing none other than Alfred Pennyworth alongside a young Bruce Wayne at a zoo, but we'll flip back round to the young Bruce in just a sec, because there will be plenty of time for bats later. But more about this version of Alfred. We see him riding in on a motorbike, because why the fuck not? And we get a bunch of narration thoughts of this chapter, and Alfred serves to give us the most part, if not all of it throughout this chapter, but as Alfred enters the city, we're shown a news reporter giving us a crime wave update of a gang called the Party Animals, and I mean Gotham crime wave. Are we even, go figure, right? However, we got our formal introduction to Alfred Pennyworth, and he is here to do some bad things. And honestly, I'm all for it. I love seeing grizzled veterans in Alfred. The Gotham TV show did it really fucking well, in my opinion, and one of my favourite all-time moments from Alfred was him beating the piss of Superman in Justice. Don't judge me, a comic run is kind of my guilty pleasure. Anyways, we see Alfred entering a storeroom filled to the brim with weaponry, but he still knows how to make a good cup of tea, because some things just never change, I guess. However, Alfred seemingly has changed a lot. This version is totally a different man from what me and you know and love. And the same goes to his daughter, because apparently she doesn't want to know him at all, and we get the lowdown on just how much of a scumbag the Party Animals actually are, because they were literally dancing outside of a burning down daycare, which is pretty fucking brutal if you ask me. But they kind of remind me of the mutants from Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, and I'm not sure if anyone's made that comparison yet, but this whole world kind of reminds me of Dark Knight Returns. Anyways, Alfred leaves and comes outside to his bike being stolen, because obviously it's Gotham, and also this event is very important later on. But anyway, we get to the formal introduction to none other than Bruce fucking Wayne, and who absolutely massive. This dude is a absolute mutant, and again reminds me very heavily of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight. And we get to see him pretty much intimidate a kid away from a punch bag here, and he proceeds to completely and utterly decimate it with what seems like superhuman strength. And there is some beautiful parallels happening between Bruce as he strikes and a lion that has been shown to us in a zoo flashback, and it's like Scott's letting you know this Batman might be different, but he is still king of the fucking jungle. Anyways, while Bruce beats the snot out of this punch bag, we are treated to flashbacks of his school days, and it turns out that his dad is actually his teacher. Very extremely different origins from what we are used to, and honestly I'm really excited to see what Scott Snyder can do with this story. However, the flashback is cut short with a gunshot and Bruce completely and utterly bursting this punch bag like it is a paper bag. And this is where we get the massive reveal for Absolute Batman, because it turns out that Batman's rogues gallery, Croc, Eddie, Harvey, Penguin, Selina, they're all actually his friends, people who he grew up with. Now, this was a complete and utter massive shock to me, and I'm sure to many others, and I can't help but wonder just how or what Scott is going to do with this story, how he's going to turn it all in together, and how it'll tie into Absolute Wonder Woman or Absolute Superman. Which, side note, I'm very excited for Absolute Superman. The suit for Absolute Superman looks phenomenally good. Anyway, we're on a Party Animal boat hideout. It's a yacht. It's a big super yacht here. They've invited the Maroni and Falcone heads of their families, basically. And if you haven't guessed by now, Scott is going all out of his way to let you know that not only has the status quo changed with every one of Batman's villains, Batman himself, the world of Gotham, but also so as the way that they're struggling for power, because Maroni and Falcone meet with the Party Animals here, who, to be quite frank, have zero intention of keeping them alive. These dudes, in fact, these Party Animals show Maroni and Falcone the faces of their friends and family that they'd killed, and are now keeping as masks, and they left 2 open spots for Falcone and Maroni, who quickly find themselves filling these spots here. And this is where we get the first shot of Bruce in the Batsuit, cape flowing in the wind, looking majestic and powerful. And the artwork in this series so far has been absolutely incredible. I can't even begin to describe it. Like, the color works, the vibes, everything just meshes together in this dystopian kaleidoscope of colors. It's very neon. It reminds me very Judge Dredd style. Like the way the city's being presented, this neon city almost. It's very interesting, especially the landscape shot that we get at the beginning with the high-rise towers. It very much reminds me of Night City. Shout out Cyberpunk Mike Pondsmith here. But anyways, we're shown a press conference here happening with this world's Jim Gordon, who is no longer the commissioner, and instead he's leveled up because he's actually the mayor of Gotham. But let me tell you, the citizens are not happy with him right now. They're actually angry due to the Party Animal attacks going on a rampage throughout the city. And And speaking of the devil, speaking of party animals, they come crashing through the doors, ready to make some heads roll and blood spill, and you should make some head rolls, liking and subscribing. But just as this party is getting started, none other than Batman shows up and rips out some of the gang members out of the door before they can even think about what is going on. However, I want to point out that he doesn't do it by hand. No. He uses the wing on his cape just like a hook, just like a Batwing. It's shaped like the hooks on a Batwing, and the door slams behind him as Barbara Gordon goes running over and tries to get to the door, and she opens it to come face to face with Batman, who tells her, "Whatever you hear, do not open this door." Now, this line in and of itself is very, very important for later on reasons, and this is where we get our first proper fight of the series, with Batman doing Batman things and naturally taking out hordes of bad guys with absolute ease. But his fighting style is different. It's more brutal, it's more animalistic than what we are typically used to. He's using the cape and the Batwing as an extension of himself, just like a actual bat, throwing goons around like they are nothing. And all the while this is happening, none other than Alfred Pennyworth is spectating and watching over him. And I find it somewhat amusing that the Alfred in this world is pretending to be Overwatch for Batman as he's watching Batman do his thing, and it's almost somewhat proud and amused almost to watch it all unfold, just like the Alfred that we all know and love would be, just kind of watching over him, kind of just proud and amused watching it all happen. But Alfred notes that Bruce is fast, steady, and above all else focused. While this narration is happening, Bruce is showing off the new and improved Batsuit for this world, and I cannot lie, there is something seriously cool about this suit, and it might be very, very early doors to say this, but this might be one of my favorite iterations of the Batsuit so far. Like, genuinely, it's a really cool looking suit. It's futuristic, it's dystopian, but it's also kind of high-tech in a way, but it's very nice. And this next scene is why I really like it, because Batman comes face to face with a goon who tells him, you know, this hand has killed more people than you can count. Now I'm gonna give you one chance to get the fuck out of our way. And Batman's response is to simply pull a handle out from the belt and attach it to his bat symbol, and it becomes a fucking axe. This right here is why I love this Batsuit already. This is some of the coolest shit that I think I've ever seen from a base Batsuit ever. Now, Batman gives his smart-ass remark about a hospital being in either direction, but I can't remember which way, so I'd probably run right after chopping off this dude's hand. The hand that has killed many is no more, and he tells the crowd of party animals to get the fuck out of his way, and it feels interesting seeing a Batman swearing. I don't know why, but it just feels different. It feels grounded, it feels punky almost. I can't describe it fully, but as he is doing this, we see Batman looking absolutely monstrous, spikes protruding from his shoulders, the cape almost looking alive as if it's ready to impale people at any given moment. It looks phenomenal. Again, the artwork in this series is magnificent. However, this is where Alfred interjects, because blowing up the escape path for these party animals, and then he decides, I'm going to confront Batman, putting a shotgun to his head and telling him, this is a DC-34 automatic shotgun. There are only 3 of them in the world, and it could blow your brains out all over the sidewalk before you even blink. To which, typical Batman fashion, he replies, sounds dangerous, kicking him away and taking the shotgun. Oh, good lord, brother. I really, really love Batman. He never fails to be one of the coldest motherfuckers in fiction ever. He's right up there with Darth Vader for just coolest moments ever. This is where we get to the meat and potatoes of the Batman and Bruce Wayne in this world, I suppose. Because it turns out that this dude is still actually a genius, but instead of being born into money, he's a blue-collar worker. He's worked from the ground up. He's worked around the city for a while, learning every nook and cranny that he needs to be, and he studied it. He's embedded himself into the city for a long time before finally taking up the Batman mantle. But that's not all of it, because it turns out that Bruce's mother is actually still alive, and it almost feels as if we have got a Spider-Man Batman hybrid story going on here in this universe. You've got a hard-working, talented young vigilante coming up who's made his all gear. He's come from rags to riches, kind of. And in this universe, Bruce's father is kind of like his Uncle Ben, who, here's the important part, just before being killed at the zoo, told Bruce, whatever you do, do not open this door, which is the exact same thing that he told Barbara Gordon before beating up the party animals in a spectacular fashion. Now, Bruce here has worked all over construction, the power grid, water department, sanitation, and even at the city hall to truly learn everything that he needs to become Batman. He has deep fried himself in the essence that is Gotham. Now, finally, we cut over to Batman in the Batcave, or should I say the Bat Tower, because remember those towers that I pointed out at the beginning of the series here, or at the beginning of the video? Turns out Bats has set up shop in those, and it's almost like everything is flipped in reverse. Rather than being underground, he's high above it. Rather than being rich, he's poor and worked up. And rather than being attacking his rogues gallery, they're all his friends. But I can sort of see the wedges being divided between himself and his friends. Maybe that's how we end up getting them all to become the rogues gallery here. But we see Batman logging the data that he needs to on the party animals when none other than Alfred and Pennyworth comes in to get his get back. However, Batman pulls the Uno reverse and greets Alfred with his own shotgun. To which Alfred laughs, saying he thought Bats was better than that. You're cornered and all those ideals just go out the window? Give me the gun. You're no killer. To which Batman responds with pure violence and shoots Alfred in the face. Which, this is where we get the narration from Alfred. First, I realised the little shit has modified my prize shotgun to non-lethal. Ruined it. Second, I hear the very gun clatter by my side as though he's saying, keep it. Third, I hear the roar of the engine of my own damn bike. Yeah, remember Alfred had his bike stolen at the beginning of the series here? Yeah, turns out that was who stole it. Batman stole it. But Batman tells Alfred as he's leaving the bar tower, you're not the only person who follows people, and then Batman flies out of the window on Alfred's bike 1,000 foot up in the air, which concludes the chapter of Absolute Batman. Or does it? See, it turns out we've got an epilogue, and we are introduced to none other than the fucking Joker, who, in this world, is famous for absolutely never laughing ever, and honestly, he looks terrifying. And now that we've concluded the first ever chapter of Absolute Batman, I cannot lie, this series has my interest heavily, and I am really excited to see what happens in the Absolute Universe, particularly Absolute Superman. I will be covering that on this channel. I'm very, very excited for that. But, as always, that is everything from me, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe. Much fucking love. Big fucking kisses. Peace.